right, well, the Miss Marvel trailer is here. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, Nerd fam? This is your boy Gashawn. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. Today, we talk about the new Miss Marvel trailer that just dropped. So, some initial things I want to say. I have already come to the conclusion that obviously most of the things that the MCU is putting out, especially now, isn't for me. I'm a person who's very source material based, and I'm not going to say that everything source material is good. I'm just saying I lean heavily towards that, and there's some characters that I just don't dig. Miss Marvel is actually one of them, but this trailer, I'm just going to try and take it for what it is and ask questions that really have more to do with the continuity of the films that came before it in the universe that this show is set in. So, a couple of things that I noticed. Number one, her powers are noticeably different. Now, she does have, they show in this trailer, she does, elongate some body parts, but she also seems to have some cosmic sparkliness happening that doesn't happen in the comics. So, her powers are supposed to come from being an Inhuman, but the Inhumans, as for what we know, have not been included in the larger MCU universe, so I don't really understand where they're going to be going with this. I think the reason why, and this is my personal opinion, the reason why they changed is because she's obviously, Reed Richards is obviously going to come down the line, and in the book, she can also not only just elongate her body parts, but she can also, grow in size, kind of like Ant-Man. And I think that the writers and everything of the show think that people are not going to be able to differentiate these characters, which obviously is up to you as the creators to, because there's always overlap. In comics, there's always an overlap of powers. People always have similar abilities. But when they're well written, you can still understand the difference between either how many different comic book characters have super strength. It doesn't matter. Like, people don't all look at them like they're exactly the same, and the same would be said here. So I'm not really sure why the change, if not to, if not for what I just said, if it's just, hey, we just want to make it look prettier or what, I don't really know. It was kind of strange. And also, I want to know how they're going to handle her getting her powers, because if there's no Inhumans here, how is she getting the powers? Also, the thing about this character looking up to Carol Danvers, like her Captain Marvel, is strange to me in the context of this universe, because as you can see, Carol Danvers has not been on this earth for that long. She appeared in the 90s. Remember, she got her powers in the 90s in her movie. Then she was gone and got called back for the whole Thanos thing. And she came during Endgame. But as far as we've seen, she hasn't been staying on Earth the whole time. She's constantly somewhere else. Even in the Shang-Chi movie, when they showed her, they're like, we never know where she is. So when would this exposure to her have made her, I guess, a fan? It's different because in a comic, obviously, Captain Marvel, even though she's in space, she's earthbound a lot as well. But it's not the same thing here. So I'm also very confused. And the Miss Marvel thing, remember, in the comic, that was who Carol Danvers was before she was Captain Marvel. So are we saying that, I guess, Kamala is just making this up as an homage to her? I guess, right? But there's a lot of context missing that is obviously given in the comic book that won't be here. Okay, it is what it is. Once again, this is why I said this movie is clearly not made for people like me who would take stuff like that into account. But the last thing, because look, I'm gonna say that this show, at the very least, looks like they put a lot of money into it, like they do for every other MCU thing. So I mean, there are things about it that visually look good. But something that has me worried was there's like a little line they said, and she was just like, it's not supposed to be a brown girl from Jersey saving the world. And I'm like, uh-oh. When you put stuff like that, I mean, certain things are going to be very heavy here. And to be honest, if a whole bunch of people are in danger, are people really going, oh man, the world's about to end, I hope it's someone who looks like me that's saving me? Is that really what's about to be said here? And I get it. It's popular to definitely draw on those type of emotions. But is it necessary in the context of what's happening here? Now, unless she's talking about like how her family would look at her being a superhero, how they wouldn't like that based off of whatever cultural norms. But I doubt they wouldn't be referring to her as a brown girl, right? So clearly it sounds like she's talking about how the outside world would view her as a superhero. And it seems like a stretch, especially in 2022, which this is clearly taking place in, right? But that's just me when it comes to like the main things that I got from here. Because like I said, I'm not really a big fan of the character. I think the character could have been really good, obviously, if it wasn't someone who was constantly a fan for Captain Marvel. Like, she was just something on her own. She got these powers, the whole Inhuman thing, but she had her own name and was just focused on her own stuff. But this is like, it's almost the same issue that I have with Ironheart, where it's like these characters almost can't exist without the existence of another one. So they kind of lack individuality that way. And that's it. I mean, I'm not really interested in the show. This is just really what I got, and I'm gonna watch it just to see if they really add in anything else, or if this is gonna be just like a siloed show, which also isn't bad. But I'm going to give it a full chance, because I like to, even though there are parts of me that tell me I shouldn't, because to be honest, the company, like I said in the beginning, has been saying that the demographic isn't for me. So maybe I'm just kind of punishing myself by looking at it. But we'll see. We'll see. At least I can't judge the show in its entirety without watching it in its entirety. I just will say what the trailer at the very least is giving me. Okay? Let me know what you think. Did you like what you saw? Do you like the character? What do you like about the character if you do? Let me know if you're excited about it. Until then, enter the nerd.